Hello everyone. Today I'm here with Vetle, Xzirez Stubberud, and you may not have heard him directly, but I'm sure you have all tried at least one deck on ladder tournaments, at least one of his decks. Xzirez is from Norway. He is currently playing for Flow eSports. Hello there. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. So I made a small introduction about you, but could you tell me something more about yourself?
Well, as you said, my name is Xzirez. My real name is Vetle Stubberud, and I live in Norway, outside of Oslo. I played Hearthstone since beta, and I've always done really well in the game. I just haven't really played the game competitively until now. I played the game for a long time without actually playing in tournaments. And then as of recently, the past maybe half a year, I started playing in tournaments. And my first tournament was prelims, then I played in DreamHack Sweden and DreamHack Valencia.
That's great. So does your battle tag have any special meanings or significance? How did you come up with it?
No, my battle tag was my basically when I was about 13 years old, everyone on Xbox when I played had to have a lot of X's in their name because that was what was cool back then. Everyone's name would be like XXX Sniper, etc. And so I jammed the most exits and sets I could get into my name just to make it like
Oh, I
have a lot
see.
of X's and sets because that was in nothing else really.
Great. So how did you pick up Hearthstone, and what do you like most about it?
I picked up Hardstone from a friend of me when I went to school or at school. Like I think when it came out in alpha or beta, I was playing it at school on his computer. And I was wondering what it was, and it was Hearthstone. And then I picked it up the next day, and I played ever since. And the thing I like the most about Hearthstone is like 100% just deck building. Everything else in the game is not that interesting to me, but the fact that you can make decks and be creative with deck building is definitely my favorite thing.
And you're
Most of its
actually,
other aspects are not that interesting to me.
and you're actually one of the best deck builders out there. So
Yeah, that's at least what other people say. I can't really say myself, because then it doesn't sound good, but other people tell me at least.
it's a fact. So how do you approach each season, and what strategies do you use to climb your way up to the top of the ladder, the rankings?
Um, it's kind of hard to really say what specific thing I do, but what I do every season and what I've always done, which I talk about on my stream a lot, is that I always try and play something different. I never play the same decks. And I always try to make something new. So even if I'm playing a list, I'll never play the exact cards for card. I'm always going to put in like one or two cards that are good against the meta. Like for example, if people are playing a lot of aggro decks, I might play another taunt, or if people are playing a lot of like a control decks, I might play another late game threat, right? But what I do every season when I start is that I try and make one new deck every single season that I start. And then I don't really write down stats much anymore. I used to do it a lot more, like what matchups are being played, what decks are being played. But generally, I just look at what is the meta right now. Is it mid range? Is it fast? Is it aggro or control? And then I try and see like what deck would fit the most. So if the meta is control, for example, I try and pick a mid range deck that I can make. And if the meta is aggro, I try and pick a deck that is more control heavy.
I
But
see.
generally at the start of the season, the meta is more aggro, so it tends to be control deck or yeah,
Favorite
not
class?
usually a mid-range
Paladin,
deck.
right?
Huh?
Favorite class? Paladin, I guess.
Yeah, Paladin or Rogue. I think Rogue is probably my favorite class, but Paladin is the one that I like the most when it's actually playable. But Rogue overall, the mechanics are more interesting.
Yeah, of course. Alright, so what style of decks do you prefer playing? And do you enjoy the current meta?
Style decks I prefer playing. I usually like playing aggro or combo. Something that has to do with a hybrid list, like a lot of the decks that can either go face or can stabilize in late game I usually like because they have different ways of approaching every game. So the games feel different. Um, but generally, I like more aggressive decks. I don't just like sitting there and doing nothing for the whole game. I kind of feel it's unrewarding. So I tend to go more towards aggressive decks, but the decks that I like the most are generally the ones that are just a combination where I can do both because I don't feel like I have any weaknesses.
I see. Do you like the current meta about how it is? I know Karazhan just came out, so I'm talking about the last few days.
The last few days of Karazhan, the meta hasn't
Before
changed
Karazhan,
anything
yeah.
now really, but for the past month I haven't really liked the meta much because it's been very mid-range heavy. The meta at the start of VOTG I really like, or WOTG I really liked because it was a lot more combo oriented and I can actually play Miracle Rogue. But now most of the decks that I are actually viable on ladder are decks that I don't like. My favorite decks are like Mali Rogue or Malygos Warlock, Miracle Rogue, and Paladin, and none of those decks are actually playable now. So I pretty much have to play a deck that I don't like, which, it's not good for me.
Yeah.
Which is also why I don't play that much ladder nowadays. I play a lot, but I don't play every day like I do if I like the meta.
All right, great. Critical question. You are in charge of making some changes in Hearthstone, whatever you like. What would you change?
What would I change? There's a lot of things that I would like to change with the game, honestly. And then there should be a lot of things that I should want to change with the game because if I don't want to change anything, then I don't have a deep enough understanding of the game. But the things that I would like to change the most is just to add more card draw and more healing to the game. I think the game lacks a lot of defensive options at the moment. At the moment, most of the cards that are good just goes face, and they have no way of actually stopping your opponent from hitting your face. What they're doing is they're trading with your opponent's face over and over. And that's not really an interesting mechanic, right? I want a mechanic that is different, a mechanic that doesn't just like tell you that this minion should be going face, a mechanic that is more defensive, like taunt and healing, or something completely new.
I see. An interesting approach. We haven't seen you in enough tours, to be honest, and I think, personally, I think you could outplay most of the players who get to see there. So, are you planning to chase that soon? Participate in more tournaments, attend more events?
I'm playing in Insomnia coming up now. The last two tournaments that I played in, I didn't do that well. But I was really unlucky in the last two I played against. And also, two tournaments isn't really a good sample size to, do well in. No one really expects me to do well in two tournaments. And approach, like, get into top eight. But I'm playing in Insomnia later. I don't remember what date it is, but I'm playing in that later this month. And I'm probably going to be playing a lot of tournaments moving forward. If nothing happens. Depends how the game plays out. If the game gets so bad that I can't play it anymore, which I don't think it will, but if it becomes to that point, then I might quit. But I think I will generally just play a lot of tournaments moving forward because I don't really get too much out of playing ladder. I played ladder for the last 2 years so much. And so playing tournaments is something that I can actually learn from and get better at.
Of course, it's almost totally different thing.
Yeah, it's a very different
tournament
thing.
and ladder. So, what are your goals for Hardstone this year, and maybe the first months of the upcoming year?
I really want to actually get far in a tournament, obviously, because I haven't done well in any tournaments. Even though most players expect me to do well, I haven't. Like I've only played two tournaments, so but people still expect me to do well in tournaments. I hope that I will actually do well in a tournament moving forward, at least the second half of the year. And then I generally just hope that I continue to do well, I guess, on ladder. There's no more HTC this year, so I can't really say that I want to win that because, it's over. But I definitely want to go far in HTC or HCT next year and try and maybe make it to the semifinals or quarterfinals or anything really. But the main reason that I want to do that is not really because I want to go far in Hearthstone. It's more just that I get to the main aspiration that I have right now is just that I get to talk to the developers, and maybe if I become somewhat of a good known player, then maybe I get to actually have an impact on the game, because I feel like would be a nice thing.
Totally could be. Do you have any advice or thoughts you'd like to share with your fans or other aspiring competitive players that want to be like you, be a top player, reach high legend, etc.?
Not really much. I do have a lot, but it would take too long to explain everything. So again, I guess the main thing that I would say is just that people should try and be more different than others in Hearthstone. Generally, a lot of people just play the same decks over and over and over again. and do the same ladder climbs every season. I don't think anything comes out of that. I don't think you actually grow as a player. I think the only way you would grow as a player is by playing something new and actually trying to do something that other people aren't doing, right?
So net
Because if you're
decking.
just playing the same as every other people or every other person, then you're basically just copying someone else. And you always want to be better than someone else, right? You don't want to just be the same person.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So you don't approve net decking. You prefer to.
No. I don't. I do approve net decking. I just don't think, in a lot of cases, I don't think it's good. I think a lot of the decks that people are playing usually are unoptimized. So I think net decking in general is fine if you don't have enough knowledge. But I think you want to always try and make your new decks because you always want to improve your knowledge on the game, right?
Of
And
course.
after a while, you start having more knowledge, and then you can make decks that are better than net decks ones because there's always better decks.
I totally agree with you. Okay, so I think we can wrap it up. Do you have any final shout outs? Anyone you would like to thank or anything?
My team, I guess, Team Flow Esports, and Daniel and Johnny and everyone on that team. Um, there's a lot of other players I could also, do a shout out to, but I think my team is probably the main one.
That's great. Thank you very much. I think that's all. Thank you very much for having this interview with me. I wish the best. We will see you on your stream. You can all follow Xzirez on Twitch. His name is VBSOF, those letters, another name, so in case you don't know, you can follow him. You can also follow him on Twitter. I have written that right below, his Twitter account, so drop him a follow. Thank you very much, Vetle, for having the interview with me. I will see you soon in your stream. Cheers, thank you. Thank you everyone for watching.
Problem.
Goodbye.